Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome. I'm Ron, and this is BESThq's Mastermind for Purpose. So excited today. We are at the Green Seed Apartments in East Portland. This is my good friend Bill.
Thank you.
And he's the creator of this incredible space. We are going to learn about carbon neutral. I don't think I've ever been carbon neutral before.
Actually, we're going to end up producing about 20 to 30% more energy
Right?
than we use.
Right? There you
So
go. That is, you're going down. You're
Yeah,
taking
we'll
it
be carbon
down.
negative. Right.
Carbon negative. So we're going to learn more about it's one of the purposeful projects of 2022. And we're here on site at Green Seeds, East Portland. And we're so pleased to have you here, Bill. We have a wonderful group here online. We are going to be recording this as well as making it available on BESThq's YouTube channel later, so we can share it and help spread the good news of green seeds. How's that?
That'd be good.
Is that okay?
I like spreading the, carbon neutral.
Spreading the good news. We love it. So again, welcome everyone online and here at Green Seed Apartments. We have a very simple program. And this is our monthly third Tuesday events, which we go out and try to find opportunities to connect and share. Our purpose, our why here is actually pretty simple, because we're going to be sharing one of our most important assets. And some might say, well, what's your most important asset? Well, for many of us, it's right here on the top. It's our mind. Right. So this is where masterminding, we're connecting. We're going to be maybe meeting a few folks as well as sharing what we have in terms of our mind, in terms of helping to find a solution for a particular issue that is purposeful and it's worth elevating. And that's what we're doing today. Sound good?
Sounds great to me.
Sounds good. Thank you, Bill. So our program there is, as it shows there, we're going to start with a welcome that will include introductions. So everybody online here on and at Green Seeds, we're going to say hi and let we know who's in the physical and the virtual room. And then we're going to hear from the creator, the founder of Green Seed Apartments, the Northwest only carbon neutral apartment complex, recently completed. And I'll tell you, sitting here amongst in the space, it's really, really awesome and inspiring, especially the fact that if I needed to jump on Max right across the way there, we could. Yeah. After Bill's share on the story of Green Seeds, we are going to tackle an issue, try to mastermind a solution for Bill together. We'll open it up here on site and virtually and try to find that. And I'm going to just give you a little tease on it. I'm sitting in the issue / opportunity. And we're in a commercial space that is vacant right now. This apartment complex is full. There is a vacant space for just the business that wants to connect to Bill and the Green Seeds story. Sound good? Sound good.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. After we chat a little bit, we're gonna call it a day, and then look to make more purposeful commitments and opportunities going forward. So next slide there, Bill. I will share for those guests, if you haven't heard about BESThq, it is a collaborative business community connected to elevating the quadruple bottom line, or people, profit, planet, and purpose, and doing it using enterprise development as a tool or an opportunity for lifting up those purposeful works. The Green Seed Apartments is one of 5 purposeful projects for 2022 that we identified early on. As we are going to a little preview, we're going to have a new cohort coming in 2023, so look for that. It'll launch in January. But it's all about lifting up this quadruple bottom line and maybe making a few good friends along the way. On the next slide, we're gonna we're going to jump into the introductions. So you can drop the drop slide. And by the way, online there is James Autry. We're going to kick it off with him introducing himself, and then go through everybody who's online. You're going to have a few, about 10, 15 seconds to say who you are, what you do, and maybe something exciting, carbon neutral in your life. Just don't go too long, but just we're gonna get the carbon neutral vibe here going. And so James, Executive Director, Serving Our Neighbors, long time, very important, wonderful partner. Thank you so much for being our virtual host, and take it away, my friend.
Yeah, super excited to feature this amazing project. And when I heard about it initially, I was really engaged and felt like that it needed to be something that we could replicate all over the city. And even, a couple of weeks ago, when like the lotto was like 2.6 billion, whatever, I said, Susan, what do you want to do, if we won the lotto? He says, I want to build a big house. And I said, yeah, with zero energy, sustainable. So yeah, I mean, that's so cool that we have the technology to do that kind of stuff. And so, you can daydream or you can put dreams to action like Bill has and Lydia. So I know them through their Sister Cities program outreach that we do with the mayor's office and a bunch of other stuff that Serving Our Neighbors does, and collaborating fun projects and seeing the good of our community highlighted. So that's all about me. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Todd. Introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Kimball, longtime supporter of BESThq. I do a couple of things. I'm with a medical technology startup called Biomodem. They make an exoskeleton leg brace to help people with disabilities with mobility. I'm also in real estate, helping people with disabilities to improve their housing situation. And as far as my sustainability for the planet, I've used an electric vehicle for over half my life, way before it was popular. So I was a trendsetter in that area.
Yes, you were.
Todd's one of the coolest persons you could ever meet. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, Tracy, you go next.
Hi, everybody. Tracy Mason. I am with BESThq and thrilled to be here. I love to hear about the purposeful work that's happening in our community. And Bill, really looking forward to hearing more about Green Seed. And thank you for your vision and for making it a reality, because obviously it's something we need. I have been in the construction world for a while, so my sustainable focus is really trying to assist in the construction of our communities to where it can be a more sustainable community and a better place for our children to grow up in. So.
Awesome. All right, Guillermo.
Hello, everyone. I'm also really happy to be here and learn more about Green Seed Apartments. I work with small business utility advocates. I help out with their operations team, and I'm their technical assistant. Been with them for about a year now. And we're doing a lot of great work to put the small business perspective when it comes to utilities as well as energy conservation. Something carbon neutral in my life right now has been my transportation. I am also a Portland State University student, and I actually also work for an immigration law firm. And both of those locations are in downtown, and I live in downtown. So most of my transportation is just walking.
Awesome. Very good. So let's have, is it Beneth with City of Beaverton?
Hi there, it's BNF. I am with the City of Beaverton. I work in affordable housing in our community development department. And yeah, I'm excited about, trying to have more options within housing, especially affordable housing that's more sustainable and obviously kind of taking climate change into consideration when building. So that's a big part of it. And I also like to be more sustainable in my life. I don't have a car. I, really try to be mindful of how I kind of go around the world with my impact. So yeah, I think it's something that I really have a passion for, and I'm excited to hear more about today. So thank you so much.
All right, and we'll wrap up with Mike online. Go ahead, Mike.
Am I the only one online? No. Hi. Mike Irinaga, I'm a small business owner and advisor, a consultant to small businesses. It's a company called Small Biz Advantages, and we help small business owners collect the money that they're leaving on the table for profit and nonprofit organizations. Sustainability, we've been pretty religious over the years about recycling, and we're in the market for either a hybrid or a electric car. And so our small part in the world, we do that.
All right.
Good to be here.
Thank you, Mike. Go ahead, Ron.
Outstanding. Well, isn't it cool that we can gather this very intentional group? We can gather together without all of us being on the road, right? All the emissions from the car, separate from the price of gas, I'm telling you. Right?
Electricity.
I just filled up. Yeah. Todd, the trendsetter, thank you so much for bringing the electric vehicle forward. All right. So Bill, you want to just say, hey, real quick, we're going to come back to you in program here. Just something exciting, carbon neutral that you're doing.
Okay, so I've always tried to build carbon neutral or as low energy as possible. I started back in the 90s figuring that, well, energy costs were going to shoot up, and then my real estate would be worth a little bit more money as an addition. Only took 40 years to catch up, you know, or 30 years to catch up.
Quick
It's,
study,
you know,
huh?
it's so we've always been building very energy efficient.
Well, I can't tell you how excited I am to hear your story. And I think it was mentioned there in the introductions about how we're actually connecting affordable housing with sustainable housing. And that is one of the sub stories about here with Green Seas as a carbon neutral apartment complex in a portion of Portland that can use some affordable housing, right?
Right. We hit that small section that we're not government subsidized. And the next group up is just workforce housing.
Yeah.
People that, you know, are bartenders or other things that need housing. And they seem to be lacking anyone building them for them. They have to double and triple up with the normal house.
Well, I'll tell you that hits true on my heart. I know we're housing and the basic roof over your head is an important aspect of our society that is being challenged right now. So thank you. Before we go too much further, so we're going to do a screen share. Thank you, James. Staying true in 2022, we're going to keep things going as he resets the camera here. And just a quick reminder that our commitment this year at BESThq was demonstrated in BizExpo West theme of staying true in 2022. And what that means is our commitment to purpose, our commitment to quadruple bottom line has run through. We have an exciting announcement that will come later this week. We're gonna have a press release with a new partner that will impact BizExpo West 2023. And everyone here will have the opportunity to get connected to that and this new partner. But it's coming in the next couple of days, and I'm so excited because it's really about going next level with an aligned partner, and that's what we're going to be doing in 2023. So look for that, James. Thank you. This is a listing of some of the sponsors, the folks that have helped us get this production and other activities of the community out to community. So thank you to those sponsors. We're looking forward to we appreciate your commitment. On the next slide, we're going to talk about, as I alluded to earlier, the Purposeful Projects, the cohort Purposeful Projects of 2022. Here is one of them, Green Seeds. Also, we heard a little bit from Guillermo earlier from the SBUA doing great work. Again, I'll refer to the YouTube channel. If you want to check that out, go to besthq.net and then go to the YouTube. You'll see a Mastermind for Purpose about the SBUA. You'll see another one for Where They Builds. Last month, we were in Metro Central's Victory Garden in North Portland. It's a do-good Multnomah village. at St. John's Village. The name of the site is the St. John's Village. Do Good Multnomah manages the site. It's 19 tiny homes that the group called Vet Rest, a nonprofit, is building out a victory garden. So it's pretty cool too. We actually on that we did a tour during the Mastermind for Purpose. So check that out as well. As our friends with Latino Build, I know they've been taking off and doing amazing stuff with their work. So check it out online if you get a chance. That is our update there. And that brings us to the update here at Green Seeds. What do you think about that, Bill?
I'm on stage. Huh?
You're on stage. So, Bill, it's pretty remarkable to be the only of anything. You're the only carbon neutral apartment in the Northwest.
Yeah, and we did a couple of things that made it harder. We're very high density, so we have 31 units on half an acre. And we actually produce more energy than we use. We're also very proud about the fact that we built it not only to be energy efficient, but it also helps create community. So we have wide hallways. The way we built the units add to a person's sense of ownership or freedom. We have rainwater collection so that we're reusing the rainwater to flush the toilets. We have geothermal to get the maximum amount of energy out of the ground. So that some of this stuff has gone over on our website, and there's some little ad libs there that allows people to see what each one of those are. We also tried to use neighborhood people when we build it. Nice. In fact, we built it with 2 homeless people. Wow. So that was, you know, a feather there. And then there were trees on the property when we got here, and the city wanted us to build right where the trees were. So we ended up taking down about 15 trees, which was hard on me. Yeah, because I love trees. But we took all that the logs and we took them up to outside of Hillsborough, and we had them reprocessed, and then we used the wood in the building. So a lot of the trim is from the trees, a lot of the flooring is, some of the big beams are. So we feel good about that.
In fact, this space that we're in, so as a reminder, our program here, we're gonna hear more about Bill's story, and as James is going through the Green Seed Apartments website online there, we're going to be coming back to, so think about, listen to this amazing story. Bill's going to share more detail. We'll have a few questions at the end, but then we're going to come back to this very space. So Bill just mentioned the trees that were on this site, and then the wood used is actually wood that's in this space. This is a vacant commercial office space that is available because they're full here at Green Seed Apartments. Congratulations. Thank you to the community making that happen. But they have a vacant commercial space that we're going to help them try to find maybe a tenant to fill in this very space where we're sitting, right?
That would be nice.
There you go. So what gave you the idea of this, Bill, and why carbon neutral?
Well, as I said, I started building energy efficient using supercondense framing and other techniques back in the late 80s, early 90s, which is a long time ago.
A few days back.
And then we built the standard area building with the triple pane windows and the foam on the wall. The foam on the wall isolates the wood from the outside environment, which makes it easier to heat it. And then from there, I've always been building LEEDs, platinum, or other things that help preserve the environment. And I've got 11 grandkids, so it's in my best interest that there's some greenery when they grow up.
So LEED, platinum. I know a little bit about that. Happened to be a LEED AP, but tell me about LEED. What is that? What is the significance of
well, LEED is a environmental group that tries to and combines energy efficiency, husbandry of resources, and in the environment. And then they give you credit for that, and then you can get points. I've kind of dropped out. This is kind of dropped out of the LEEDS program because it became too expensive.
Well, there is
So
a cost of
there's-
registration.
There's
yes.
a cost of administration and other things, and it became less innovative and more about what was available to help get the LEEDS points.
Yeah, one of the cool things about a the lead program is it gives you lots of ideas, right? Because they have a checklist of things, ways that you can actually, if you go through, identify your project to include those elements, and that is something you've done here.
Yeah,
You
we
brought
actually
it
built an
forward.
assisted living in Tigard that got like about 95%. Had to go to Washington and get them to not penalize us because we irrigated the vegetable gardens.
Outstanding. And I noticed outside here, there's some flower beds and vegetable beds there as well, right?
Yes, we put a lot of, again, not only do you want to be green, but you want to help create community.
Mhm,
So everyone talks about homeless people,
mhm.
and then they build shelter farm. What we want to do is we want to build homes farm. We want to build an environment that allows them to be feeling part of the community. So if you go outside and you look at our landscaping, you'll see lots and lots of planter boxes and other places where people can garden and become part of nature.
That was one of the things that I noticed just on driving up here at Green Seed is the landscape, the architecture, as it looked like some native plantings. There were a number of raised accessible flower beds, right? Or vegetable beds that were.
We tried to have a bed for every person that wanted to be able to grow their own vegetables.
Wow.
So when you talk about ownership and you talk about participating in the community, you don't always want to share everything. So this way people can have their own flower bed or their own vegetable bed
Mhm.
and be next to their neighbor who has theirs. And it just adds to community.
Indeed. And here's some pictures online we have of the actual construction process, right? Can you maybe list some of the other key elements, the exciting elements that help create this carbon neutral space?
Well, we did a lot of, if you go a little bit further up, you'll see the timber processing where we actually took the timber that we had and created, we sawed it into 4x12s for our decking and other stuff. Then we built on a 24 inches on center to preserve the limited amount of timber that there is available. So we used about 40% less timber in this building than you would normally use in a building because of how we build on 24-inch centers and how we use the cripples and the trimmers and eliminate a lot of the extra wood in the building. We one of the
And as a side note, folks may not know this, but Bill actually built it, right?
correct.
He's the builder. How many subs did you have working on this?
No, we had like 2 subs.
2 subs. So this person right next to me here literally built this complex with
Yeah.
some friends, of course. But
Right.
you can rattle off the framing dimensions and.
Yes,
and all together.
yeah, I was here for all of the blood, all of the
It's amazing.
bruises.
Yeah.
So so we try to build cost effectively. You know, we wanted to build it for $110 a square foot. We came in closer to probably 150, but that was because inflation. Plywood went from $30 a sheet to $100 a sheet during the time we were building it. There's some supply chain issues and some other stuff. So we feel pretty comfortable that we did it. And then because this is a prototype, the next one we'll build, we should be more cost effective. And
So you built less than what it would the normal market rate, because that's 150 is it's still that's below what typical what's the typical apartment complex cost per foot?
I would guess for an apartment complex that was sustainable,
Mhm.
it'd be 90,
Yeah.
200.
Or well over. I've seen 300 as well as,
Yes.
so you built sustainably and cost effectively, and now you're full.
Correct. We filled up within about a week and a half of opening.
Wow.
And we thought we were going to have more of your pre-Prius owners, people that were driven by the ecology, but we ended up having a lot of transitional housing too. So we're getting a lot of people in our community that are coming from situations where they've either have been incarcerated or they're coming out of homeless deal. As I said, we hired 2 homeless people when we built this, so that was an interesting scenario. And we did a lot of other stuff that we would consider socially mindful.
Responsible. Bill, this is truly awesome. I'm so thoroughly impressed. So you've shared a lot of information. I want to maybe open it up to some other questions folks online or here may have. Before I do that though, so you get your questions ready, is there any sort of key element here that you may haven't touched on that you really is kind of close to your heart?
Well, I kind of am impartial to listening to Elon Musk.
Okay.
And he says that no part is the best part. So if you want to build cost effectively, you have to start eliminating unnecessary parts.
There you go. Eliminate the unnecessary parts. There
And we
you
do
go.
have a question here from City of Beaverton folks. It says, do you have a cooling system? How does all the AC work there in that type of facility?
What was that again?
The cooling system. Do you have a cooling and how do you moderate temperature?
Okay, so we could call what you call paving. So we put radiating type pipes in the ceiling. And then we also have geothermal. So we have pipes running around in the ground. And
Geothermal. Tell me about that. What's that all about?
Geothermal is collecting the heat or the coolness from the ground and using it for the building. And normally you would push it through like a wringer and you'd wring out the heat or you wring out the coldness of it. But in the summertime, we take the water directly from the ground and run it through our radiator pipe so that we don't have to worry about putting a heat pump to it. And that gives us a lot of our cooling capacity.
Outstanding. Did that answer the question? Or
Yes, thank you.
great. Is there any other questions? I see Todd's got his hand up.
So Bill, I want to say thank you for not only the beautiful construction you've done, but the beautiful vision you share for humanity. You are a rare breed in this industry, and thank you for that. My question is, you're full now. What is your anticipated turnover, or how do you see? Are you keeping a waiting list, or how is the property working right now?
Well, we do have a waiting list now. We did select the tenants non-traditionally. So instead of having them go through and do a credit check and a bunch of other stuff, we had them answer 4 sentences, 4 questions. And the questions dealt with, how they felt about society, how they felt about their community, how they felt about energy efficiency, what they have done to help energy efficiency, and how they think about getting along with other people and what have you. And so by asking questions, we were able to match up the people that we brought in with what our idea of the community we wanted to form. So we were building like a mosaic of people that would accelerate the community creation by creating people that have the different talents, but were susceptible to creating a community.
Thank you. Thank you.
In fact, Bill, you've used one of my favorite words here many times. I got to call it out. You're like a community savant here, because I really appreciate that. Well, one, the importance of community, and how it helps form and shape people on their journey. But here, to be intentional in terms of selection of your residents with mindfulness of community is just that's awesome. That's really
Well, but in some respects, it's self-serving.
yeah.
You know, the happier my tenants are, then the less problems I'm gonna have. And I talked earlier about ownership and how our tenants, we tried to look at the tenants for ownership and freedom. And ownership is very important. But when you build really super energy efficient buildings, they're very quiet. So when a person walks into their room, all the chaos and noise from around them settles right down, and they're in charge of the room. If you walk into a room that's very noisy from the outside noise and what have you, then there's no chance to slow down, think about what's happening, and allow that room to be yours instead of that room owns you.
Such an important element, this piece of space, your space around you, how it affects us on a day-to-day presence. And here being a carbon neutral space, I could see how that could be transformative for people that came in.
We also put in blackout curtains in all the rooms so that the residents could close the curtains and cut the light out, because sleep is so very important to your well-being. So if you get a good night's sleep, you're going to be happier, you're going to be more pleasant, and you're going to be more receptive to be able to build community. So we did a lot of things that we think in the hallways, we had the hallways extra wide. And the reason why we did that was we all have a bubble that we surround ourselves with.
Indeed.
And when you bump into someone else's bubble, you know, you hear things like in your face, you know, or in your space or what have you. So if you build a hallway that is too small, invariably when you pass your neighbor, you're in his face or you're in his space. And it's very difficult to become friends with people that are in your space. So there's a lot of little things that you need to do when you're building community. And, you know, even though you're building energy efficient, you should still be very mindful of the community you're building.
Outstanding, outstanding. Hey, we'll do a couple more questions. What do you think? And then we're
Absolutely.
gonna get back at the masterminding here. Do I have any
Yeah.
other questions?
Yeah, Mike's got a question, and I wanted you to talk a little bit about the fact that you had to teach people how to cook on a different type of cookware and a different type of stove. Can you tell us that story a little bit, if I understood it correctly? And then Mike's got a question.
Yeah, we use inductive cooking tops. An inductive cooking top means that it heats magnetically as opposed to temperature wise. So when you put your pan on the cooktop, it heats up. But if you put your hand on a cooktop that's been on for a long time, it will be cool because you don't have any magnetism in your hand. You didn't have any metal. So it was interesting. We ended up buying cookware for everyone. Because
That's amazing. You bought new cookware for everybody.
yeah, it just became easier to buy everyone cookware than it was to fight it.
That's a good way to build community. Yeah, buy them something to cook with.
Yeah, Mike, what's your question?
Hi, Bill. Kudos to you. What a nice project. Just to kind of trail on Todd's question, you have a waiting list. It's a very long, and can you give us a range of what the rent is there, and is it any of them subsidized renting?
Well, we don't have any subsidized housing. We are at 80% of the median family income, as the city of Portland describes it. And so for the lowest apartments, I think are $1,150. And then the biggest studio we have is $1,250, I believe. And then we have a couple of 1-bedrooms for like $1,450, I believe. But that includes all utilities, you know, web and heat and water, electricity, garbage. So you pay one bill. And again, creating community, especially with people that have been in transition. You want to make it as easy for them as possible. So with us, you only have one bill to pay. And you pay that bill and you've got everything covered. Whereas in a lot of places, you know, you have an electric bill or a cable bill or a Wi-Fi bill and a lot of other bills, which makes it difficult for you to be on top of the situation if you're not used to it.
Wow, excellent. Are you going to be asking the same questions for the people that are on your waiting list to qualify?
Correct. You know, we still try to select people as they come in. There's a surprising amount of couples and kids that we have here. But since we're in transitional type of deal, it's, you know, a lot of people are in small apartments with lots of kids that don't have the sense of space that we have.
That's great. Thank you. So if I wanted to refer some people, there's a number on your website we can refer people to then to get on the waiting list.
I believe so. I'm not sure that my partner was just telling me that the number is maybe marginal. So I can give you I'll give the number out and we can post it on the.
Yeah. We'll get the number out to anyone attending tonight. So just I'm literally in awe with as somebody who's been in the built environment my whole life, and to see you using your hands and mind and bringing this concept forward and not just talking about it, but making it reality here. I'm so happy for you, Bill. That's really amazing. But we have one little issue that we need to mastermind, right? And we need to find a solution here. And we've got a great group together to do it. You ready? All right. So in this space where we're producing this interview and this production from, it's a commercial office space that is available, right? So you've got this incredible community, this incredible story, carbon neutral. You've got rainwater collecting and being shared and then being reused, separate pipe. It goes on and on and on. This space, this complex is giving back. So in so many ways.
Right, but I got one a little bit more question I have, and your audience may be able to help me with this.
Okay.
And that is, I'm in the process of trying to get some plans through the city of Portland.
Okay.
And it's the same way. It's super energy efficient, it's rainwater collection, it's building community, you know, and it's building for the next generation. It's not building for the last war. It's building for the future.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just I don't know, if someone knows someone that knows someone that knows someone that might be able to expedite it, that would be wonderful.
It's sometimes tricky. Well, we do know we have members in the community that are pretty active in that space, and we definitely can help you just maybe navigate a little bit and help get that through. What's the project? You want to describe it real quick? Just the size and.
Well, it's on Cesar Cervez and Hawthorne.
Okay.
And it's 40 units, 10 3-bedrooms, 30 studios.
Okay.
And yeah, big rec pool, you know, ping pong pool, shuffleboard in the basement.
Okay. Got any openings there yet?
We haven't started leasing it yet.
All right. So fill up that waiting list. Okay. So we have a couple things here. We have the current Green Seed Apartments, which has an open office space. What's the size of this space that we're in?
This is about 200 square feet.
200 storefront on Burnside, right? And I think James had a look, or we've got a camera here that's going to turn around and show that storefront space. We want to put that in spotlight.
And it's directly across from the light rail on 161st and Burnside.
There you go. So we're going to do a virtual tour of this space that shows what's happening here. This office is available, and again, if we're going to open it up here and maybe share ideas of different prospective tenants. So look at this space here; it's about 200 square feet, and it's got one bill, right? Because everything's included. You got your Wi-Fi, you got your utilities and such. And then the other item to Mastermind would be a future project and maybe a little help navigating the permitting process, because you're beyond the normal, right? So we may have some folks here that we could share as well.
Yeah, anytime you step out of their box, they have a hard time with you. And the way we build, we're not in the box.
Right. Right. Okay. So with that, anybody have some ideas to help us? We're going to put it on the gallery view so we can all be
I've got one
shared.
for you, Ron.
Yeah.
So before I get to a few ideas, I wanted to ask, you keep calling it an office space, and I think it would make a wonderful office, but it also looks like it could be a small retail space. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small retail. It'd be almost big enough for a food cart if you didn't have had one that didn't have wheels.
Okay, so I've got a few ideas for you here. A couple of different categories. You've got beautiful lighting in there. I can tell that. You've got the windows with a great view. You're right across from the Max, and you have tenants, obviously. So to me, it would be an ideal space for a small art gallery. And so many artists in this town have great stories of community, of sustainability. I think we could find a wonderful artist that could take the space there. Couple other ideas. It seems like one of the things that you might be pointing toward, given your vision, is to make your place kind of a stepping stone for your tenants and for other things that they do, right? So Proud Ground, the community land trust in Portland, might be interested in a small satellite office in a space like yours. And it could be a transition to go from renting to home ownership through Proud Ground and their community land trust model. So a couple of tenant ideas there for you. And with me being in real estate, I'd be happy to make a couple of phone calls for you.
Sounds good.
That's what I'm talking about. Well done, Todd. Thank you so much for sharing. And that brings up a good point, is what type of tenant might be, or maybe we could kind of brainstorm that a little bit. So what you're right across from Max. We just did a tour of the space. The outside, there's a nice courtyard here. It's a secure place. I heard art gallery type. What other types of businesses might work? Professional services, of course. That's kind of a no-brainer there. Anybody else online got some ideas to share?
Well, I actually have more of a question for Bill. How, in other spaces you've done similar to this commercial space, what have been some of the tenants that you've gotten into those, and how do you get the word out about it and promote it, or are you just looking to have people kind of reach out to you?
I'm looking more for people to reach out. I mean, small mixed use spaces are always tough to do. And in fact, the city sometimes places too much emphasis on them. You go by and you see these buildings that are completely full, but the ground floor is completely empty. Mm-hmm. And you wonder, where we've missed the connection. How come old buildings have grocery stores and what have you in them that are they look more cluttered, but there's a humanity about it. I think sometimes code requires you to build stuff that doesn't have much humanity. So unless you're building a very fancy, high-end deal, it doesn't fit well with what you're left with in terms of the open space.
What about approaching some of the chiropractic doctors nearby to see if they wanted to extend and have a extra treatment room or something like that?
Yeah, especially maybe a naturopathic sort of more, you know, a firm that could connect to the carbon neutral aspect.
Right, so but we are also in a fairly, I want to say depressed, but it's a rough area. So we're doing good because our apartment bands together and protects each other and helps each other. We worked as a community, but it's still a rough area.
Challenge. So, and not to mention the fact that we're going through this thing called the pandemic, right? Which I know had significant impact on a lot of commercial office space. And so this could be commercial office, commercial retail. Is food allowed here as well?
Yeah, it's commercial space.
So any food, and we've got some plumbing in here. So we got.
Or even some local folks that have, you know, like a yoga studio or workout area, and they could provide a service for the tenants as well as, you know, customers coming off the street.
Yeah, we're talking to one group that might put some barbecue in here. So they can go out to the front deck and put a big barbecue pit in and not worry about the fire codes.
Yeah.
So, you know, you see a smoker here in about 6 months, you know that we decided to.
Yeah, that'll bring the customers in, smell some good smoke going on.
Todd raises a really great point about maybe a community organization that would want to be right across from Max, a very focused space. It doesn't have to be huge, but also where you could connect well with communities, a nonprofit or another organization that has kind of deep roots in community as we're here. Any other options on tenants or maybe people you might know that could be interested in a space like this?
I'd love to introduce the complex to Brad Ketch with the Rockwood CDC. You know him as well, Ron, and we've done Best HQ meetings out there at their Rockwood Center on the Max line, there where the Mohawks are. I think it's Stark and the Burnside. And so he needs to definitely be aware of that, because some of the things they did at the Rockwood CDC is they had a commercial kitchen. They had other tenants that were renting that space out that may be looking for some other place or past or future or whatever. But to build a partnership with the Rockwood CDC and all the efforts that they have in bringing that, you know, space in that community to a place of life in the midst of some craziness. I know that I think he said about 88 different languages are spoken in that area. I know at least in the school system, 88 languages. David Douglas, my kids graduate from David Douglas High School, and it may be even upwards close to 100 and something, 120 different languages that are spoken in the Rockwood area. So there's lots of immigrants. And again, like Todd said, or otherwise, you know, having a nonprofit have a branch there right off the Max line that would help people, you know, get connected to the services that are being provided just down the street. You know, a hop on the Max and you're there at both places.
Indeed. I think we had a couple other hands there. Todd?
Yeah, so a little bit piggybacking on James' latest idea, but maybe a tutoring center, because you said you had a lot of kids in the building, and that's also a great way to attract new tenants as needed. And then one other, I suspect you're doing this already, Bill, because you're a very smart guy, but sometimes tenants can be the best source of commercial leads as well. So have you put it out to your tenants for ideas for the commercial space?
I'll do that. I think one of the people that are thinking about barbecue is a tenant.
Okay, sound good.
Thanks, Todd. That's a mastermind right there. All right, Tracy, what you got?
You beat me to the punch, darn you.
Sorry
No,
about that, Tracy.
The other thing I was thinking, but kind of along the lines of a tutoring, but a little bit different, was kind of with the mission and with the location of where you're at, is if any type of a partnership with like WorkSource would be something to think about for them to come in and do some training sessions, utilize that space as kind of a satellite training area, because a lot of their main headquarters are so overloaded right now that to be able to kind of have a training center might be an option for work source.
Sounds good.
That's great, especially workforce issues that are going right now. The fact that this is literally across the street from Max is huge.
Mhm. Yep.
And it's a very manageable space. We can do this. So we can do this. Get you a tenant. All right. All right.
What kind of rent are you looking for that space?
About the same as an apartment, like 1,200.
Okay, I can pass that on.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
It is a good deal. About 200 square feet.
Correct.
Great.
Looking at the dimensions of this, yeah, about 10 by 20. Is that what I'm looking at?
It's 13 by 22 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more. Yeah.
And Bill, would that be all inclusive like your other tenants, including Wi-Fi, electricity, all that?
Correct.
Great. Okay.
Is this the only commercial space?
There's actually, we've got a an area in the basement that we were trying to figure out if we do a WeWork space where people need offices and what have you. It's about 1,700 square feet.
Oh, wow.
And it's a pretty nice feeling space.
Might be a gym.
Well, or yeah, something. It
Yeah.
doesn't have the facilities for showers and what have you, but it
Okay.
has bathroom facilities,
A lot of yoga.
little kitchen.
All right. Is there any other items? I think have we filled the cup a little bit here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gave me some ideas.
Okay.
I feel good about it.
And of course, you can contact us at besthq.net and continue to provide. We've had some information in the chat. Each connect with each other. Share if you have any specific names. We'll get some contact information. Green Seed, right? Share it to anybody in the Best HQ community that's been on this meeting, as well as you can make info@besthq.net. You can just send it into that, and we can make sure it's available as well for those viewing this recording afterwards. So with that, do we have anything else for the good of the order? I have one announcement going forward. We're going to have a little celebration of Green Seed, as well as the rest of the 5 purposeful projects at our next Mastermind for Purpose event, which is the 3rd Tuesday at 4:00 in January. So we're going to take December off, not compete with the holiday festivities and everything else, and wish everyone a wonderful holiday celebration of their own with their owns. We're going to come back. Mastermind for Purpose will be the 3rd Tuesday at 4:00. And so look for that announcement. And thank you, Bill, for
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
for sharing your story with us. This is extraordinary. And I feel privileged to be here with you.
Thank you.
I love your vision. You said all the things that I've thought a lot about. A lot of people will think a lot about, not necessarily always doing it, but you've done it. So congratulations on that. I wish you the best here. Yes, you got the applause online, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Mastermind for Purpose. Look for the Biz Expo West press release that's coming in the next couple of days. And we're looking forward to seeing everyone continue to make a difference, purposeful work together in 2023 and beyond. I think we're going to call it a wrap for tonight. Yes. Thank you to Luis on the controls, our online host, James, and have a great evening.